Hello and welcome to another episode of It's Not Luck with your host, Nicola Charlotte, the podcast where we dive into the behind the scenes of what contributes to the success that we see on paper. Because we all know it's very easy to tick the boxes, reach the milestones, hit the big numbers, but is that success that feels good? Is that success that is aligned with what's important to us? And actually, what are the things that make the journey of creating incredible success feel fulfilling, enriching, energizing, inspiring? So we talk about mindset, behaviors, habits, and everything in between that help us to create long-lasting success. And I thought I would make this episode a bit of a topical one, given that we are now officially in summer. It is June, July, August, and I feel like September as well constitute summer. They reflect long, sunny evenings, strawberry picking, picnics, alfresco dining, trips to the beach. And to me, it's really a season of abundance, of light, nature, friends, weddings, celebrations. And I thought, do you know what? We're going to bring that energy into business and career as well. Because whilst people like to talk about hot girl summer, and I feel like, I'm aligned with hot girl summer, like those early morning hot girl walks, the aesthetic matching gym co-ord sets, the Pilates classes, the ice matcha dates with friends. I'm here for that energy. The energy of confidence, of self-love, self-care, joy, freedom, adventure. And I thought, let's bring that hot girl summer energy to business, to creating greater success with more ease, to feeling confident as we up level, and having a hot girl summer that's also lucrative, that's also financially abundant. And we get to have both. You know I am a firm believer in the fact that we get to have it all. And I say that with a pinch of salt because it all is so subjective. Like, having it all means one thing to me as it does to you. And that's something also that's worth thinking about before we even dive into this episode. Is like, what would a hot girl summer that is also lucrative, full of freedom, full of adventure, full of groundedness, what would that look like? And so whether you are a solopreneur, a side hustler, in a corporate job, thinking about setting up your own business, this episode is for you, because I'm going to be sharing 5 rules that I am committed to living by this summer to help me create a season that feels as great as it looks on paper, that fuels me energetically, financially, emotionally, that really does fill up my cup in all senses of the world. Because when I talk about freedom, which I talk about a lot, I talk about it from a 360-degree viewpoint. Freedom financially, freedom energetically, freedom to switch off, freedom of time, freedom of spontaneity, and obviously freedom financially as well. So we want to say goodbye to the summer of burnout. We want to say goodbye to passive coasting, to chasing clients, to being stuck indoors when it's gorgeous and sunny outside, and really creating a summer where we feel aligned, excited, expansive, and really excited about what is coming up. Because I just think the energy of excitement is so not underrated, because obviously we all want to feel excited, but tuning into the energy of excitement is exciting. Does that make sense? So it's like, how can we cultivate excitement for what's to come? Not just from a social plans point of view, but also in our business as well. So I thought I would share these 5 kind of rules that I've come up with that I invite you to take on yourself, or take on a few that resonate. Rules seem quite rigid, but I think if we have the intention of following them, then they're not too harsh and strict. But, we've got to be disciplined if we want to create abundance and freedom and that hot girl summer energy in all different areas. So let's kick off with rule number 1. And this is stop chasing, start magnetizing. What this looks like is letting go of energy leaks. So chasing after people who haven't replied, chasing after people in the DMs, tweaking things 100 times, going back and editing things unnecessarily, trying to kind of prove something by posting certain type of content on Instagram. I think these are examples that I see a lot. They're examples that I speak to clients about a lot. And it's really letting go of the things that just drain your energy. And we're all guilty of doing some of those things because we get caught up in the algorithm, we get caught up in these rules that we've imposed on ourselves around how many times we should be posting or have to be posting, how much time we need to be spending on social media, the number of emails we need to send out each week or each month, And yes, a lot of those are necessary to help keep our business growing and to build visibility and awareness, etc. But there will always be alternative ways to do these things that don't drain your energy. Even if that's something like outsourcing or reducing the amount of time or changing up the system or using a different platform, there's always going to be an alternative. And whilst not everything we do in business is going to be super energizing and exciting, the more we can let go of the energy leaks, the more energy we have within us to be that magnetic presence. Magnetism comes from belief plus clarity plus presence. So this is our time in summer to let go, but also to step into more of that sense of power, of confidence, of clarity, of being like, I'm here right now feeling good. I'm here right now doing the thing that lights me up, and I'm not doing the things that I have been told I have to or need to or should do in order to hit X financial goal. So how can you shift your focus from doing more to being more of you? And I love this concept because we're human beings, not human doings. And whenever I come back to that, I'm like, gosh, it's so true. I am definitely guilty of doing the whole time. And just being, not only is it so grounding and wholesome, but it's how we connect in with our inner desires, our inner voice, our intuition. And it gives us that chance to say, hang on a minute, I've been doing this thing, but it's not serving me. It's not feeling good. It's draining my energy. So this is your opportunity to focus on doing more, shifting from doing more to being more who you are. Trying to let go of some of the expectations, the rules, the tendencies that we naturally all pick up when we're kind of online consuming so much of the time. And in this place, it's trusting that the aligned actions that you're taking and the consistent visibility and presence of that magnetic energy that you have will draw in the right people, will draw in the right opportunities. And I fundamentally believe that. Like attracts like. When we are showing up authentically, just as who we are, that's when we attract the most aligned people and opportunities. So as a quick little takeaway there, audit your business energy this week. Are you forcing? Are you flowing? Where are you forcing? Where are you flowing? And then choose one of these areas. Maybe that's sales, visibility, outreach, engagement, where you can release the areas that you're chasing and double down on that trust. Trusting that when you're putting out the right content, it will meet the right people. Trust when you're sending the right invitations, the right people will respond. So that was rule number 1. Stop chasing, start magnetizing. Rule number 2, build momentum in sprints, not marathons. So this is your friendly reminder that you don't need to work 10 hours a day at your desk to grow your business to its next financial milestone. What if you tried a couple of shorter sprints? So shorter bursts of focused time with 1 or 2 specific goals and then took time off. And this is something that I'm really going to try and do this summer because, as I say, there's so much going on. I live in London. It's summery, it's warm. I can go swimming, I can go to the park, I can go read in the sunshine. I don't want to be sat at my desk knowing that I could be doing that as well. I'm someone who works really well in the morning, so I'm very happy to get up early, start working, have breakfast, sit outside in the garden, do a couple of hours work, and then have an hour off, or 2 hours off, or have the afternoon off, But the more focused these blocks are, that's actually how we build momentum in that sprint format, rather than seeing it as a marathon, 4 months ahead of working. So what you want to do then, and what I'm going to be doing, is creating sort of these containers. So between 8:30 and 10:30, deep work focusing on X. Then I take a break, and then I have another deep work kind of sprint in the afternoon. Creating this momentum comes through clarity, intentions, and boundaries. Boundaries are going to be so important here. which is why I'm a big advocate of planning these things in advance, because then you've blocked out your calendar for the next month with your work sprints. So when people say, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you come to this event? Can you, asking these favors or asking, like requesting your time, you're able to say no with clarity and confidence because you are protecting what matters most to you to help you build that momentum. It's all about protecting your nervous system because this is your greatest asset. What lights up your cup outside of work? Is it swimming? Is it going for walks? Is it lying in the sunshine? Is it going to a gallery? Like, what is that? Because that's as important as sitting down doing the work itself. When we can have these sprints of work, where we come to those sprints feeling super energized and motivated, of course we're going to perform much better than if we're sat at our desk for 5 hours straight, feeling a little bit depleted. So the takeaway here is map out your next few weeks with this mini sprint format. Get really clear on what the 1 or 2 main goals are. Get really clear on the time that you work best versus what you want to do in the time that you're off and resting, and add that to your calendar now. Start to map out what you would love your summer months to look like from like a work, rest, play perspective, because you get to decide that. If you're running your own business, if you're a solopreneur, a freelancer, you have that choice. So it's time to make it happen. Okay, rule number 3, say no faster. Every time we say maybe, or every time we don't make a decision and we kind of put the decision to the next day or the afternoon, it keeps us in this state of energetic limbo where we haven't moved forward because we haven't made a decision. When we have high standards, that's how we get high returns. So it's so important that we protect our time, our focus, and our creativity. And I love this idea of having high standards. Like, what are the standards that you want to set for this summer? How much money do you want to be making, and how much fun do you want to be having, and how much adventure do you want to have, or travel do you want to have in the summer? So this is about setting your standards and creating the boundaries, being polite about it, of course, but remembering you don't owe long explanations, or you don't have to put everyone before yourself. It's okay to say no, even if it feels a little bit uncomfortable, but you're saying no for a greater reason, for your standards, for your lucrative summer that you are creating. And when you say yes, make sure that's a gut yes. Is it coming from, yes, I'm super excited, I'm all in, I'm 100% committed, this feels super aligned? Or is it saying yes because you feel like you have to, or it's sort of, that's what the other person wants to hear? So decisiveness is one of the most incredible traits of a successful founder or leader. Being able to make decisions with clarity and then move on to the next decision, because ruminating in our mind is what takes up unnecessary energy that we could otherwise be putting somewhere else. So what would be your summer no list? What are 3 things that you are not available for this summer? One of mine is definitely people pleasing. I know that a lot of the women that I work with, it would be underpricing their offers. Another really good one is time wasting calls. So if people request to have a call with you or booking a discovery call, make sure you're really clear before accepting that they are aligned, that they're not going to be wasting your time, or that you have clear boundaries on the time that you honor in that call, i.e. 20 minutes, stick with it, and that is your boundary. So I'd love to hear what your summer no list is. Another one for me is scrolling unnecessarily on social media. I go through phases where I'm better, and then I dip into it a bit again. So it's noticing when I do that, putting it away. Read instead, put it out of my eyesight when I'm working, because it is just, there is no benefit whatsoever. So that is definitely something that is on my summer no list. Okay, rule number 4, let content be easy, but intentional. People want you. People want your voice, your authentic opinions, your personality. It doesn't need to be polished. It doesn't need to be perfect. There is no such thing. So rather than spending 45 minutes perfecting a reel or a carousel on Canva, how can you create content that is easier to create, that feels more fun, and that is less time consuming? Now, I'm going to bet/remind you that you will have so many excellent pieces of content that you have already created. It's not lazy or it's not cheating to repurpose that content. Sure, you might want to update it or you might want to tweak it, but make life easier for you. Repurpose your high-performing posts. Share behind the scenes. I've said this so many times and I'll say it again. People buy into a lifestyle. Yes, of course, they want to see that you are an expert in what you're selling or offering, and they want credibility that you've helped similar people in their situations to get to their end goals, but they also want to get to know you, your values, your lifestyle, your just day to day. Like, that's how people connect with you. That's how they build up that relationship, that sense of like, know, like, trust. And that alongside more sort of strategic sales content is the winning combination. And it's not about showing up every day, posting every day. It's about showing up with purpose and intention and with a sense of this is adding value or this is interesting versus, oh, I haven't posted today. Let me put something randomly together and send it out. Because that just ends up blending in and that can be more detrimental than it can be valuable. So be intentional with your content. Is it consistent? Is it real? Is it value-led? Are you showing your personality? And I really want to do that more myself. Take people with me on my holidays or into our new home or just some of the things I get up to when I'm in these rest periods between working. Sometimes I forget, which is often the case, or I think, oh, people aren't that interested, but they are. Like, that's what I'm most interested in. So the takeaway here, which is one of my action points as well, is pick 3 content pieces from the last 90 or like 120 days that performed well. How can you repurpose those or tweak them to use again and change up the call to action or change up the kind of next step you want them to take so that you're directing them to your newest offer or your newest kind of availabilities? Because we all have incredible content. No one, I guarantee, will know that you are repurposing it. And if you're worried about that, just change up the front image, the cover photo or the first slide in the carousel. That's the trick here. Okay, moving on to rule number 5. We are whizzing through these, but I wanted this to be a short, sharp, punchy episode full of value that you can just take away and start actioning immediately, because Hot Girl Summer starts today. It's the 4th of June when I'm recording this, and it will probably be about the, what would it be? The 9th of June, maybe, when you're listening to this. So we are in the depths of summer. I'd also love to know, on a side note, by the way, where are you going on your summer holidays? My sister and I just booked to go to Menorca in literally 2 or 3 weeks' time, which I'm super excited about, a little sister trip. I'm going to Oslo for a wedding in July, and then we're going to Provence in France in August with a good group of our friends from, well, some from uni, some from after uni. So super excited for that. But anyway, that was a massive tangent, but I would love to know where you are going on your summer holidays, because you know me, I love to travel. I love to procrastinate by looking at holiday destinations. I'm actually planning our kind of late honeymoon trip for October, and I'm thinking the Maldives. So if anyone's been to the Maldives, I would love your tips. But I've got together the quote. I planned it all. I just need to speak to my husband, get him on board, and then I think we're gonna book. But it's not set on the Maldives, so I would love your thoughts. Anyway, massive tangent. 5th and final rule for having your hot girl lucrative summer: move like the version of you who already has it. This is a timeless hack. And I really do say the word hack because I have seen firsthand how powerful this strategy, for lack of a better word, is. How can, and I'm saying this because I wanted this reminder and I've therefore made it a rule. Stepping into the identity of your next level now. So embodying that version of you who already has the lifestyle, the business, the mindset, the habits that future you is living out. What does the best version of you look like? Not physically, but like, what are their demeanor? What's their demeanor? What's their mindset? How are they walking into a room? What decisions are they making? This is what we need to embody. The sooner we do that and the more consistently we do that, I promise you, the sooner we see really quick, quite significantly up-leveled results. Would she spiral over a quiet launch? No. Would she chase people in the DMs? No. Would she stand for like time-wasting conversations? No. Would she spend 3 hours creating a carousel on Instagram? No. Would she work 12-hour days? No. Or would she trust that the right systems and energy compound over time? Would she know that embodiment fuels results? Would she know that her energy is her most important asset, that relationships lead to sales, that letting go is one of the most powerful forms of attraction? Yes. Yes to all of those, because that is where ease, flow, freedom, results stem from. So let's make this the summer that we really connect in with becoming her. The small daily moves, the morning routines, the health rituals, the boundaries, just like the little in-between bits that help her glow, help her shine, that protect her energy. Drinking water, getting fresh air, getting vitamin D, taking a little bit longer on her self-care, like all these things that we so often shrug off as being like, I haven't got time, or I'll do it tomorrow, or it's not that important. That version of you is probably doing these things and she feels all the better for it. So let's start doing that today, because that is how we get to those full body results. So every morning this week, we're going to ask ourselves this question. What would the version of me who already has the results I want do today? So what would the version of me who already has the results I want do today? And follow through on just one of the things that she chooses. One request, one mindset shift, one outreach, one message, one pitch. Like, just do one thing each day. One thing that feels a little bit daunting, a little bit expansive, but exciting. So there we are, the 5 rules that we are going, well, that and I invite you to come along as well, are going to follow for a hot girl but lucrative summer. Now, this isn't about doing more, it's about doing things differently. It's about creating greater fulfillment financially, but also energetically. And these 5 rules I know are going to help me get there. So take which ones resonate, create your own as well. It's about having clarity, boundaries, belief, and taking bold action, because we can have the vision, we can have the excitement, but it's about taking the action to make it happen. So let me know which rule resonated with you most. If you're watching on YouTube, pop it in the comments below. If you are listening on audio, then send me a DM at Nicola Charlotte Coaching. And I would love to know. And maybe I can compile a list of some of the other rules that you've all created and share them with you on my Instagram so that we can take inspiration, because we're here to learn from each other. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please leave a review if you did. Subscribe, leave a thumbs up. It helps more people reach the conversation and it would mean a lot to me. I am going to have a little pause from the podcast for a couple of weeks, just whilst we move and settle in and get everything figured out. But I will be back, and I will be back to be able to update you on how my hot girl lucrative summer is going. But thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you very, very soon.